Hello and welcome to the Ridiculously Good VA Show with Tracy Daviero. If you are a virtual assistant or want to be one, this is the place to learn the tips and tricks you need to become a ridiculously good VA. I've been a part of the VA industry since 1998, and I'm excited to get to know you and help you build an amazing business. Let's go. Hey there, welcome to another episode of the podcast that teaches you how to be a ridiculously good virtual assistant. If you're stuck and need help moving forward, be sure to book your complimentary cut to the chase call with me so we can talk about the ways I can help you. Book your call at yourvamentor.com/chase. Today, I want to talk about how to prove you can do what you say you can. Today's quote is from Tom Peters. A career is a portfolio of projects that teach you new skills, gain new experience, develop new capabilities, grow your colleague set, and constantly reinvent you as a new brand. Isn't this an amazing quote? It shows us that everything we do every single day adds to what we know and what we can do tomorrow. It's time to showcase that. Let's go. Before a client signs on the dotted line, they may ask you for some kind of proof that you can in fact do what you say you can do. I've talked to a lot of virtual assistants who seem to get very offended by this request, often because the request comes in the form of asking for references or for a resume. And they stick their nose up and they say they don't want to do those things because they're not an employee. But obviously, they haven't convinced the client that they are capable of what they can do. I talked in the last episode about what exactly we're asking of our clients when we ask them to invest in our services. The monetary exchange can be substantial. I want you never ever to take that for granted. They are paying you a lot of money to help them. They don't know you. They want to know you and they want to work with you. But we need to recognize that the monetary exchange is huge, or can be. And sometimes they aren't quite confident that we're the right ones for the work after our initial conversations. Whether a client is paying you $500, $1,000 or more every single month, multiply that by 12 to get a sense of their financial commitment to you. They need to feel like they're making the right decision, and if that hasn't come from the conversation you had in your discovery call, then they are well within their rights to ask you for more stuff to back up your claim that you can do what you say you can do. Or, in some cases, they might just ask for proof before they even talk to you, like in a job posting. First things first, relax. Don't get offended. It's okay. Let's talk about the kinds of things clients might ask for and how to handle them. Number one is portfolio. When anyone asks you for a portfolio, it doesn't sound too bad, because if you provide graphics or video services, a portfolio is probably a pretty simple and normal request. When someone needs creativity or branded content or even just good writing or copy, don't be surprised they ask you to show them some of your work. I've heard of VAs that provide other types of services, though, who also get asked for a portfolio. And in these cases, I think the client's still referring to samples of your work. It can be helpful to have sample documents or spreadsheets that you've created available to share with your potential clients. When I was going after really high-level clients, I had sample documents, spreadsheets, web pages, email templates, all kinds of things that I had worked on or created. And of course, I took any client-sensitive information out of them where necessary, and you should too. But you can do that and just as quickly save a new file, and there's your piece of your portfolio. Sometimes clients just want to see samples, and that's an easy way to do it. I had some clients never ask me for a thing, and others who wanted a lot of proof. Sometimes seeing a spreadsheet and how you lay out numbers just helps them to understand that you get what they're talking about. They're not looking to steal your work, at least not in most cases. And if you want to work with the client, you need to make the effort to show them that what they want to see so that they can say yes. Not all clients will take our word for it that we can do great stuff, and that's totally okay. Number two is work samples. I talked a little bit about how to provide work samples for spreadsheets and documents and that kind of thing. But what about other kinds of work samples like writing or video? That's actually a really easy one, even though a lot of virtual assistants ask me how to do it. If those are your service offerings, here's my advice. Be your first client, or at least a client of your own. Do the stuff for yourself. I always say if you create websites for people, yours better be a good website. If you write blog posts, you better have some good ones out there. If you provide social media services, your social media better sing. If you're a Pinterest VA, well, anyway, you get the picture. If you do SEO, your own better be working for you. If you provide video editing and you can't show your work that you do for somebody else, you have to do your own. Record some videos, edit them. You may never get asked for work samples, but it goes a long way when people check you out to see the kind of work that you do. And I always tell you that I Google everybody I connect with, and I do. Your clients do it too. They're going to be looking for your expertise online, even if they don't ask you for it. But if they do, ask them specifically what they're looking for and then show them appropriate samples. Don't just send them a link to your website and you want to, have them do the work. Never let the client work too hard. Post links to specific pages or posts and tell them why that particular sample is relevant to what they need or what you think they've asked for. That also goes to your communication. When I was running online conferences for my clients, I used to do their registration pages, their sales pages, speaker pages, schedule pages, and emails. Once those events were over, we actually took those web pages down, so I couldn't point anybody to anything. But you better believe I took screenshots to share samples of my work later on. It's very simple. And lastly, references. This is another really contentious issue with some VAs. We tell our clients that we'll keep their work confidential, and a lot of VAs think that that means they can't tell anybody who they're working with. That's not always true, though. Yes, some clients aren't going to want you to tell people that you're working with them. I don't understand that, honestly, but it does happen. I think sometimes it's because they don't want anyone to think that they're not holding all the balls in the air for their own business. It's kind of strange, but you will get the odd client who does not want you telling anybody that you're their VA. But for the most part, they will do. Most of my clients didn't mind me sharing the fact that we were working together. Yes, of course, I asked them all. So I put together a partners page on my website and I put every single one of my clients' names, job title or company name, and a link to their website. If I had an affiliate link for their services, I used that. So that way I was giving them a little bit of promotion without, splashing them all over the place. Just saying, you can contact these people if you like, but also if you're looking for an XYZ, whatever their role was or whatever their business was, you knew that I was recommending them as well. And of course, I told any of my clients that if someone contacted them about working with me to say very nice things. It made it really easy to show people who I worked with, and it lent some credibility to the fact that I worked with the people that I said that I did, the level of people. It was a super easy way to give references. And another way to do this is via testimonial. Asking people that you've worked with to give you a testimonial is a really great way to get social proof about how you do what you do or what it is you do. My favorite place to get testimonials is still LinkedIn, but I'm actually not very good at asking people for them, but I highly recommend that you do. Instead, I rely on social media posts and other written compliments for my testimonials. I had a colleague who asked everyone to give him a Google review after working with him. Wherever you choose to keep yours is up to you, but definitely start collecting them so that you can have them when you need them. And if somebody asks you for some and you don't have them, go and ask people to give them. It's totally fine. Let them know that you're on a little bit of a time crunch because someone needs them. Same thing as a reference. If you haven't set that stuff up yet, just contact somebody and say, do you mind if I hand your name out? References are references. Some people still want 2 or 3, like we used to put on our resume. I think the magic number was 3, wasn't it? But don't get mad if somebody asks you for references. I generally find it's the VAs who don't have clients yet who are struggling with this, and that's probably where, the minor annoyance comes in regarding it. But what it comes down to is that the client didn't get enough confidence that you can do the work when you talk to them. So they do need some more convincing. Or sometimes with references, they feel confident that you have the skills, but they're just looking to talk to somebody about how you communicate or what's like to work with you, which again is totally fine. Either way, it's a good thing. It's just one more step in the hiring process. So, what do you need to do if someone's asking you for something that you didn't expect them to ask for? Well, A, work on your discovery call so they are convinced and don't need anyone else to tell them or sell them. And B, find 2 or 3 names that you can pass on because if one person asks, you probably know that others will as well. And now, as usual, let's reflect back on the amazing quote that I shared with you at the top of the episode from Tom Peters. A career is a portfolio of projects that teach you new skills, gain new experience, develop new capabilities, grow your colleague set, and constantly reinvent you as a new brand. I just love this quote because it really drives home the message that I'm trying to share with you today. Your career is a portfolio of projects. What I take that to mean is that your body of work comes from everything you have done in your work life, even in your personal life. It's built by the new skills you've learned, whether those are through formal education or, on the job type of training and experience. It's built on your experience. We get better at everything the more we do it. It's built on your capabilities. What can you do now that you could never do before? Maybe you didn't even know it existed. For me, that was learning about virtual events and online conferences. I came in as a general admin VA. I didn't know anything about that kind of stuff. And I learned all about joint ventures and working with affiliates. That was actually a really important part of my business for a long time. And it came from building my portfolio of people I worked with and things that I did. And it's built on your colleagues and clients, the people you choose to spend your time with. These are the people that might provide references for you or testimonials. And it's built on your brand. Who are you in your business? What is it that you want people to know about what you can help them with and who you are, and what it's like to work with you? If you can convey those things in your discovery calls, you don't have to worry about all this other stuff. And so I think that's what's most important is on your discovery calls, you want to be you. You want to know what it is you're trying to represent and pull that out when you're doing your discovery calls. All of these things, portfolio, work samples, references, and testimonials, they all come from what that quote shares. So think about it, make some notes, write that stuff down. And never think of these things as a hassle. Be very proud to provide them. Put them together for people and gush about yourself, or let others gush about you. Show them your best work, your best personality, and the clients are going to be beating down your door before you know it. There you have it. You can see the bottom line though. Clients are well within their rights to ask for proof that you can do what you say you can do. They may ask for that in a variety of ways. They may even ask you for a resume, which I didn't cover in today's episode. If they do, don't worry about it. Just send them a proposal instead and explain in your email or your cover letter that since you're a contractor, you don't have a resume, but here's a proposal that outlines your services and your specialties, etc. If somebody asks you for one of those things I've talked about in this episode, just send it to them or get clarification about why they're looking for it and further discuss it, or see how you might be able to accommodate their request. Like I've said a number of times, if they're asking, it's because they want to work with you and they just need a little more convincing or a little more proof. So just do it. I'm going to leave it here for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Ridiculously Good VA Show. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. For more great resources for your VA business, visit my website at yourvamentor.com. I'll see you back here next time.